Welcome back, folks. Now recently I played a lot of World of Tanks with the holiday break, and this vehicle, the Type 4, the Type 2604, the Tier 9 Japanese heavy tank, is quickly becoming one of my favorites. So this vehicle is large, cumbersome, basically OI of Tier 9, and it's super fun against lower tiers. So it's a bully tank, but it's still pretty good against higher tier vehicles. So what's good about this vehicle is it's exactly the same as the OI. It's large, it's cumbersome, has a large derpy gun, and deals massive amounts of damage. Plus, if you are top tier with tier 8s and tier 7s, they have no hope of penetrating you whatsoever unless they shoot gold or flank you. But sometimes the gold shell doesn't do quite well, like the IS-6 D25T. The gold penetration on that gun is 210 millimeters of penetration, 217 or so. Does not defeat this armor, no way. So yeah, you become a bully to low tier heavy tanks and even low tier tank destroyers or medium tanks. Just chew them up. So vehicles like the Kozlovsky's KV4, nope, instantly destroy them with 600 alpha per shot. So this gun is 139.7mm, roundabout to 140mm. It's a large caliber gun, reloads every 17 seconds or so, deals 600 alpha per shot with AP shell, but has more penetration than the 152 on the E100, or 150, not 152. So the E100 has 235mm of pen. This vehicle has 250. The gold shell is AP shell with 280mm of pen, so it's a large caliber gun, deals a lot of damage, and does not suffer the drawbacks of low penetration. So once you hit, vehicles like light tanks explode, vehicles like low tier heavies explode, while you have about 250 to 270mm of frontal plate armor, and it's going to be buffed with the upcoming heavy tank buffs to the OIs, to the mouse, to the E100s. So holy crap, this thing is actually fun. Without artillery, of course, but you have to be artillery safe and you have to be top tier. When you're bottom tier, you could spam high explosive and still be as annoying, just as annoying as E100s using explosives, but it doesn't chew up the credits with the gold shell because you don't need them. The standard pen is good enough. So here you can see I'm going to bully these tier 8s and the T10. Missed the shot, obviously, but the accuracy of the gun is 0.42 or 0.4. It's not that great. So it's a derpy, large caliber gun, but you stick it up their faces and pull the trigger. So here you can see a bunch of tier 8s, whatever. IS-3s, a little bit low on the shot, not fully aimed, my fault, but I don't care. I have the armor. The T-54, model number 1945, is shooting at my cupola, but it's well rounded. So you have to hit it dead on, in the center, in order to penetrate with your gold shell, but yeah, it's not gonna happen. So the armor of this thing is also trollish with the weak spots, so I love it. The only weakness is the side armor and rear armor and the large frame of the hull, but it's Japanese heavy tank. It's a kaiju. It's a tremendous beasts. I love these vehicles. I mean, it's such a niche in World of Tanks to have large, cumbersome vehicles with a lot of armor. You don't see that quite often. You see lots of medium tanks, lots of gun depression, you know, usual turret armor stuff, but these vehicles are like super rare, like the mouse, like the E100. So I have a lot of fun doing the leak videos for the Japanese heavy tanks because of their size. That's one of the big reasons, as well as the armor. The armor values of these vehicles, by default, is tremendously, insanely thick. Even without the sloping, it's super thick. And with the sloping, sometimes gold shell would not penetrate. So you basically take all the hits. Right now, I blocked 6,000 damage just by doing nothing, sitting in the open against a bunch of tier 8s while they're pummeling me with a lot of shells that do nothing. So coming right up is this N46 Patent KR using high explosive right there. The high explosive did not pin, and I blocked the high explosives alpha of 320. The normal alpha is like 240 to 260, so you can block high explosives. That's how hilarious the armor is. But the only thing that could penetrate me is roughly high tier penetration guns, like the T10's 122, but he has to shoot at the lower plate, so nope. While I'm chipping away at his health with 600 alpha per shot, that's like almost half their health, or a third of their health, so I could also ram. This thing is heavy, so yeah. Play these vehicles. I mean, it doesn't receive a lot of love because of the popular top tier vehicles like the E75, like the T10 or the M103 or the Conqueror. Nobody plays these cumbersome large vehicles because they get pummeled by artillery quite often. So you have to be artillery safe, and they fit a niche of city battles. So this vehicle is almost useless in open field battles because the accuracy of the gun and the low camo rating. You'll get spotted instantaneously. You'll get shot at from all around the map. But once you have a top tier match with this vehicle, once it is a city map, and yeah, you're facing a bunch of tier 8s, hilarious fun. So it's just a bully. And if you're a bottom tier facing up against Mouses or E75s or E100s or IS7s, use large caliber high explosive shells. Just as fun, and they'll still have a tough time penetrating your hull. Hilarious. So tank destroyers, whatever, you have to use gold shell. So the only way of penetrating this frontal armor is 280 millimeter plus shells aimed directly at the hull without sloping. And that's pretty tough for a lot of the guns. So unless you're playing something like the Jagdpanzer E100 or the FE215B1A3 with large head shells, you have to use gold against this vehicle, and it has to be on a flat surface. So you can also side scrape, you can also tilt the frontal plate like the Porsche Tiger to hide the cheeks of the hull, and yeah, it's auto bounce. So give these vehicles some try because they fit a niche of their own. Unlike the medium tanks, unlike the E75s, the M103s, they're a dime a dozen. But with these vehicles, yeah, these vehicles are diamonds in the rough. There are gems to play with if you know how to play these vehicles correctly. So don't overly expose yourself. Time to reload, that's very important. So try not to get flanked, also very important. Stay artillery safe, but if you're top tier, if you're facing lower tier scrubs like IS-6s or Super Pershings, no problem. Just evaporate their health while you're bouncing like 10,000 damage per game. No problem. So this match was super easy for me. I just stay in the open, no artillery, super safe against a bunch of tier 8s and one tier 9, no problem. So here's a Super Pershing, shoots my tracks, no penetration. I'll shoot his cupola, deals below average alpha, but yeesh, whatever. You can keep trying. It's not gonna pin unless you use gold shell at the side armor correctly. But I want to scrape a little bit better. But this E75 is preventing me from scraping to the other side, trying to hide my side armor. Oh well, doesn't matter. I'll kill this guy, no problem. So he'll take another shot at my side armor. Oh, pinned. But I'll chip away at his health a lot more than he does to my health. And it looks like the Super Pershing has a damage ammo rack, so doesn't shoot quite as fast. But there you go, folks. Bully. Super bully. And there you go, folks. The Type 4 Tier 9 Japanese heavy tank with super amounts of armor and a large alpha, but it is one of the biggest, if not the biggest vehicle in the game, because it's bigger than the Type 5, the Tier 10 Japanese heavy tank, because the engine deck is raised. So yeah, it's fun. It is really fun, but it fits a niche of its own. So unless you get top tier matchmaking with no artillery, then you will be focused with a bunch of artilleries, open field maps with tank destroyers. You get raped by gold shell. So it's a niche of its own, but there are situations where this vehicle shines, like this match you saw right there. I bounced 10,000 damage and dealt 6,000 in return, so basically easily fulfilling the heavy tank number 15 personal mission, even though I already finished it. So yeah, I was working too hard with the T110E5 for that mission, but we could play Japanese heavy tanks, heavy tank personal missions, super easy. So here you can see Top Gun, Steel Wall, High Caliber, and cool-headed in a high-tier vehicle. Cool-headed, you bounce like 10 billion shots. So as you can see, yeah, super amounts of XP, that's pretty good. Mastery badge, yada yada yada. But here is the funny page. So I received 40 hits, only penetrated by 4 of them. So that's hilarious. And bounce 36. So potential damage blocked is 10,400. And that dealt 6,000 damage. I also wasted 30% of my shots because the accuracy is so bad. But yeah, it's whatever. So here you can see that my loader, the bottom dude, he's not fully trained, and yet the vehicle reloads about 16 seconds, 17 seconds. So with the fully trained crew, it should reload about 16 or 15 seconds. So this vehicle is basically E100 of tier 9. It will face tier 7s. So vehicles like, I don't know, T25AP or AT, or vehicles like the T25/2 or SU-122-44. Unless you can get to the side armor, but this vehicle also has 10 degrees of gun depression, and his alpha, this vehicle's alpha, will chip away like 80% of tier 7's health. So if you know how to play large vehicles, if you stick to walls, stick to covers, and do not present yourself or your side armor, then you'll easily squish low tier vehicles. IS-6, no problem. WZ-111, what a joke. So vehicles even with low penetration, even for gold shell, yeah, they have no chance of penetrating your armor. So vehicles like IS-6 gold shell is 210. WZ-111's gold shell is 250, but this vehicle baseline armor is 250, but it's also sloped upwards. So, nope. So yeah, hilarious, super fun, but it's a niche. So be warned that you will be targeted by artillery, and if it's an open field map, stick to walls or stick to the red outline of the borders, because you will be flanked and you will be spotted across the map. But if you're top tier, if there's no artillery and it's a city map, hilarity ensues. So hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.